My mic was muted. Hi, everyone. I'll just let everyone get on the channel. Just give them a minute. Hi, Chandra. Good to have you back. And this week, I am determined to turn that banner off and not have it going all the way through the presentation. I left it on last week. Oops. Hey, Daniel. Good to have you on board again. How's everyone doing? Glad that restrictions are eased a little bit. We definitely are. Parks are open, pubs and cafes are opening, which is good. And please stay safe, guys. You know, try and do minimal contact where possible. We don't want this virus to spread and lock down Australia again. Belinda, hi, good to have you on board. Yep, it's a good feeling. It's a good. I've got relatives in the UK, and they're still in a pretty bad place with restrictions and things. They're at the same phase where they're not really allowed to go anywhere. They're only allowed to go out and exercise in their local neighborhood. So yeah, which is good. Hey, Mike, good to. Okay, I am hoping that this quickie is definitely going to be a quickie. Some of them have went on a little bit too long, but I'm going to try and get this one sorted for over quickly. Okay, a minute. I'll let people have one more minute, and then I'll jump in and have my tea. You know, I think we're probably going to keep doing these quickies even as restrictions are eased. I think they're quite useful. It's going to be quite popular with you guys. So there's about a 30-second delay in comments coming in, just in case you're wondering. Hi, Mike. Hello. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. Let's jump in. We have 13 people on board at this lunchtime. That's great. Okay, so hi and welcome to WP Quickies, bite-sized WordPress tips and tricks. Today we're going to be looking at custom post types. But before we get started, please click the subscribe button below and click on the bell, and then you'll get notified when we post any more videos to this channel. That'd be great. Okay, so this WP Quickie, we're going to be covering a very specific topic. So we're going to be looking at what are posts in WordPress and what are custom post types. And then we're going to look at a little plugin that allows you to add some post types to your website without any code at all, which is great. And if we've got time at the end, we'll jump back in the comments and please ask questions, and I'll try and get them at the end. Okay, so what are posts in WordPress? Well, everything inside WordPress, apart from your images, are stored in the database. And pretty much everything is a post in WordPress. So posts can have a type, which can be a post. So that's the one you use for your blogs, for example. Pages, which are the static elements that you build your website up with. Attachments, so that's your images and files that you add in. A revision, which is a revision of your post. And a nav menu. So those are the official types of posts that get stored in your WordPress database. But WordPress allows you to register your own type of post. And these are called custom post types, or shortened down to CPTs. You might see the acronym floated around some WordPress forums. So that leads to the question, what are custom post types? So a custom post type can be any kind of content you want to store in WordPress in the database. It doesn't have to follow a page or a post structure. It can be anything at all. So for example, you may web or a store, something like Amazon, or something like one of the Booktopia type things, or even just a review site. And you want to allow users to leave a review of your book. Now, obviously, with WordPress, there's no extra field you can actually allow people to add stuff into WordPress, unless you actually add those types of fields. So example of other popular custom post types would be testimonials. A lot of companies have testimonials on their sites. Portfolios. So if you're doing some work and you want to show that off to people, you'd have a portfolio document there. Post and products as well. So WooCommerce and Easy Digital Downloads, they've got a products custom post type. And we'll have a look at that when we do the demo at the end, what it looks like in the back end. Now, you can restrict custom post types to only work in the admin area, so that the dashboard of WordPress, and you can allow them to be open on the front end website as well, so what we call public side of the website. You can restrict the queries, and so you can restrict post types of queries are run, and you can make them available to the search feature that people can use on your WordPress as well. So you've got a great control and flexibility over custom post types, and you can also restrict them to roles as well. So if you're just allowing certain people in your WordPress website to add some data, so you might have the manager, you could allow a custom post type be available to that specific role or above. It's very, very flexible and basically allow custom post type to be viewed anywhere on the front end, the back end, to be assigned to any user role that you have in your WordPress database. Now, traditionally, if you're creating a custom post type, it requires a shed load of PHP code in your themes functions.php or to develop a custom thing. But not any longer. So today, we are going to look at PodstoIo. Now, this is a plugin, and it's been out for a while, but certainly gained in popularity over the last year. It allows you to just create custom post types and associated fields within the UI of WordPress, so without the need to add any code at all. So this has become really popular, so if this is used in conjunction with a page builder like Beaver or Elementor, then you've really got your hands on a great interface way of building a powerful WordPress website without the need to bring in any developers, and that's what its real strength is. So the plugin is completely free. There's no paid option. You can download it from the WordPress.org repository, or you can download it directly from the website, which is pods.io, http pods.io. And got a great amount of support on there. They've got questions, tutorials, FAQs, a whole support forum there as well. So if you're struggling for a particular how to do something with pods, then it's probably covered in the facts in this forum there. Or you can just ask in that forum as well, and somebody will likely get back to you. Or in Slack as well. So there's a few of us who use pods.io. I'm still hardcore. I still like to run in the back end. But I know quite a lot of the guys who run WordPress agencies and freelancers use this pods.io to create their custom post types. So that's it. Let's actually go and run a demo and we can see what it's like. So let me just share my screen. I'll get rid of it. And I'll reshare a browser window if it works. This one. Okay, can you guys see that? I'm going to go full screen, just so it gives you a little bit more of view here. So this is just a local WordPress installation I have installed on my machine. You can look at the plugins and the pods. There we go. I've got Beaver in here as well, but just ignore that for just now. So pods, custom content types and fields. So I've got that installed, and we get a pods admin feature down on the left-hand side menu. So let's have a look at that just now. Okay, so when you first start this, you've not created any custom post types, or pods as they're called. So you get this little interface here. So you can create a new one, or you can extend an existing one. What that means is you can actually change the WordPress post. So you can change like a post or a page or taxonomy or comments and things like that. So for this demonstration, we're going to create a brand new one, just to like give you an idea as to what sort of options are in here. So let's click on create new. Okay. Swig of my tea, and we'll keep going. So the first thing you see is to create a new content type. So you have a drop-down selection, so you can create a custom post type like a post or a page, or like a category or tag, so a taxonomy, or you can actually create a settings page. So if you've got a website that you want like a general area to put stuff in, maybe let's see, social media links, or business contact information, you can grab it of one place and put somewhere else. And you can create an options, a settings page for that. But we're going to create one that's like a post or a page just now. So leave the default option here. So first two options, we give it a name. So for this example, I'm going to think books. Okay, let's apply people to add information on books. So I'm going to call this one book. So that's a single label. So custom post types require a single and a plural label. So a book, multiple books. So we'll put plural of books. There is an advanced feature, and that allows you to select the slug, the unique identifier. But it works out for itself, so you don't have to click on that. So we're just done book, and its plural name is books, and let's have a look at the next step. My machine's a bit slow. I've got a lot of things running. Okay, so the next interface, that's it's been created for you. And if you have a look up here in the menu, so we've got dashboard, post, media, pages, comments, and now we've got books. So it's actually created that custom post type straight away, just with that one click. Let's have a look at some of the options. Let's ignore managed fields first, and let's have a look at the custom post type. So the labels you can set those labels for the different dashboard interface. So for example, if I hover over books, you see it says all books and add new. You can change that there, the add new bit, to say add new book. And then we'll save that. Go back into labels. And now if we hover over the books custom post type, we can see it's add new book is there. So you can do that for everything. So when you view stuff, when you search for your custom post types, if something's not found, you're saying no books are found, the featured image as well. So you can change all the way that WordPress displays all the admin information about the custom post type within this labels tab. You also have an admin UI, so you can give a little description. So if you've got lots of custom post types and you want to keep track of what they do, you can add a little description here. But this allows you to specify how it's shown within the interface. So you can disable it or enable it from the admin UI. I mean, I don't know why you want to disable it, but anyway, you can make it appearance of a current post type. So if you want making this appearance of the pages or the post, you can certainly do that. It's menu position, so you can make it appear up and down wherever you want in areas of the menu, and you can change its icon. So the default custom post types is always going to be that little pin in the corner, but you can create something else. I've got there you go. So it uses dash icons if you want to change the icon. I know dash icons are going to be phased out in the next few releases of WordPress, and I'm sure pods will allow you to do to do something differently when that's happened. But at the moment, it works on DashIcons. So we'll copy in the DashIcons book alt and we'll save that. Go back to the admin UI tab where we were. And can you see on the left-hand side, the book's custom post type? So the icons changed that. So you can change it to any of the DashIcon icons, which just gives it a little bit of a more distinction. Other options here, showing navigation menus, showing the admin bar. So you have a little bit of control as to where it is within the WordPress interface. So let's have a look at some of the advanced options. So here's where you can tell or give permissions on who can use the WordPress custom post type that you've just created. So here we can see we're allowing it to be viewable in the public. So that's the front end of the website, and they can query it as well. We're going to leave it in the search for just now. What that means is if somebody uses a search on the front end of your WordPress website, then it's going to show these custom post types within that search result. So if you didn't want that, if you just want this custom post type to be a back-end thing for reference, then you can go ahead and check on that, and that'll exclude it from the WordPress search on the front end. You can add capabilities, so we're borrowing all the capabilities from the post. You can Google search on user capabilities. You can allow it to have an archive page as well, which you can then create a template for. You can make it hierarchical, so you can create things underneath. So you can have multiple hierarchical custom post types. You can change it slug as well. So at the moment it's in book, so you could rewrite that slug to be anything you want it to be. Let's see, and you have alternative options down here. Probably the biggest one down here is the supports. So this means what's going to display on the front end, on the back end, sorry, of the custom post type within the editor. So at the moment, it defaults to title and the editor window. And you can add different things in like featured image or experts if you want your custom post type to have those features. But at the moment, I'm just going to leave the title and the editor here. You can also associate categories and taxonomies. There's a little bit of integration for Beaver Builder ones as well, but I'm not going to get into the advanced stuff. I just want to give you an idea how easy this is to create custom post types. So that's the advanced options. Templates, we're going to leave for a little bit, and REST API will, if you guys are into the REST API, if you're developers, then you can expose your custom post type over the REST API, but we're not going to go into that today because that's a little bit too tricky. So at the moment, if we go into a books and we're going to add a new book, the plain vanilla custom post type you'll be able to see is just the title and the editor, because that's all we've allowed to see. Okay, that's better. So now we're going to go back into the pods interface, and we're going to add some field to this, because at the moment there's nothing here. There's no custom fields at all, it's just the title and the editor box. So we're in pods admin, we'll go to manage fields tabs, and we're going to add a field. So this one's all about books. So we're going to give this field book author. It'll default a name for you. You can give it a little description. Enter book author information. Okay, and a field type. So there's quite a few field types for here. So you've got plain text, website, phone, email, password. You've got paragraph. You've got WYSIWYG editor as well. Some code, date, time. You've got numbers. You've also got like attachments and O embeds, and a simple yes, no. So you've got a huge option of different types of fields that you want to display, but we're going to keep this one simple. So we're going to go plain text and click on require. Now there's additional field options. So you can allow short codes within the fields and HTML. By default, they're unchecked. You can add CSS classes as well and default values. And again, you can determine how it's dealt with the REST API, but we're not going to go into that today. So we're just going to go fairly basic. So put in a label and a field type, and we've said it's required. I'm going to save that. And I'm going to do another couple of ones here as well. So let's do an ISBN, which is the International Serial Book Number. Just leave that. We're going to use that as a number. We're just going to set it's required here. Save that. And then we're going to add another field. And we're going to give that one favorite characters. Plain text, and we're going to leave that as optional. And save that. Okay, so we have 3 fields within our custom post type. So we're going to jump back over to the editing. So this is the adding a new one. I'll refresh that. I forgot to save the pod. Let's go back and save it. There we go. And now we'll refresh the editor window. And now we can see we've got our fields coming into our custom post type. So we can now give this this a name. Let's say Harry Potter. You can add content here, just like a normal post. But then here we've got our additional fields. So book author, J.K. Rowling. ISBN, I have no idea what it is, but we'll just put in some numbers. And your favorite characters, well, obviously Harry and maybe Dumbledore. Has that got an E in the end? I think it does. There we go. So I'm going to take off the ISBN there and just save the post. It shows you that it's got validation built in because we hit that required field. So let's put a fake number there and publish. Okay, and that's great. So now within WordPress in the back end, we've got a custom post type called books, and we've got some custom fields added to that data, which is all in the WordPress database, and it's all queryable. At the moment, if we have a look at that in the front end, okay, nothing's coming out there. It's just your default title with your content. So how do we get that information out into our pages for the people to see? So we go back into the pods admin, and we go down here, components and pod templates. Done there, so we're going to create a new one. And I'll just call it books. I'm going to leave its default stuff, and I'm going to write a template for this. So the great thing about pods is it really allows you to output that information that you're storing in the back end really quickly without having any developer need to write some code. So there's a little template language that you use. It's really simple. It's basically HTML, just with a few additional things to get the field values. So on the right-hand side, we can see there's a little box called pod reference. If we bring that down and select the new pod or new custom post type books that we've created, it gives a list of all the fields that you can then bring into this template. And at the bottom, you can see here, we've got book author, ISBN, and favorite characters, the fields that we added. So let's write a quick template. So it's mostly in HTML. So we'll paragraph, book author. We'll end the paragraph. And to get the fields into this template, you use the curly brace and then the @ symbol. And then again, it brings a list of all the fields. You can just scroll down, or if you know what it is, just type it out. Book author, here we go. And then close that curly bracket there. And that's going to output in a paragraph book author with that data from your custom post type. So let's do another couple. Paragraph, ISBN, curly bracket, add the @ symbol, and we'll go down and select that ISBN. There we go. And we'll close the paragraph. And the last one is favorite characters. And again, curly brace, we'll scroll down and get those characters in. So you can build this as complicated as you need. I'm just doing these really quickly just for the demo today. So that's got a very, very simple template. And we're going to publish that. The next thing we need to do is go back into our pod. We'll edit that one. And then we go to this auto templates options, this tab here. And that allows you to associate that template we just created with this custom post site, with this pod. So click on that. Great. So let's see. So we've only got one template, so it's selected it for us, and you can choose where the data is being sent. So we want these fields to be sent out after the content. You can put it before, or you can actually replace the entire content of the post with your branded template. We're just going to leave after just now, and we won't go into anything else there, and we'll just save that. So what we've done is we've created a template, we've put some HTML to pull in the field data, we've then associated that template with our custom post type, and hopefully, fingers crossed, if we refresh this content on the front end, there we go. You can see that data there is now coming out in a custom template after the content that we've added. So this PodstoIo, it's really simple to get data into WordPress. It's easy to get it back out with that little template. It's nothing fancy. So if you want to do some real fancy stuff, you still can do it at the back end with developing a template and doing PHP. But this PodstoIo, it has so much stuff there that you can do without having to hire a developer or touch a developer at all. I think it's a great option as well. So that's all I wanted to show you today. You guys can download Pods. You can play around with it and just see how it extends, how you can use it for your own stuff. Let's nip back to the presentation, and I'll jump into some of the questions, I think. So let's remove that and get the presentation back up. Here we go. There it is. Okay, so this is what we've covered today. What are posts in WordPress? What are custom post types? We've had a look at PodstoIo that allows you to create all these custom post types without having to be a developer, and we've had a look at the demo for that, which is great. If you guys are interested in a WP Quickie, a topic, please suggest a topic for me. There's a form, a Google form down there, or you can take a picture of that QR code and it will send you to the right place to fill out that form. So please do that and give me some ideas as to what you guys want to see and what you want me to cover. So let's jump in. I'll leave that on the screen just now for a minute and I'll jump into some of the questions. Steph, good to have you online, buddy. Okay, what are the added benefits of custom post types? Well, we covered that right at the very beginning. Why you would want to put a custom post type is you're extending the ability of WordPress to store additional data and fields. So, if you wanted to add stuff into WordPress, custom post types are probably one of the best ways to do that. It keeps the data away from the post and the page and keeps it separate. So you can use it as a reference to output to different areas of your website. Just creates a nice tidy interface for that. Does anyone use the custom post type UI plugin instead of Pods? I'm fairly sure some people do. I think Pods has more stuff available to it than the custom post type UI plugin. And it feels a bit neater in its interface that's more integrated. And I don't think the custom post type UI plugin allows you to output that data using the WordPress REST API. So I think Pods has like a one-up on that one. Michelle, can you nest custom field types under products, put add new dress, add new skirt? Yep, absolutely. So within that admin UI tab in the pod, you can basically tell it which menu you want it to have as a parent. So yeah, you can totally position that under products if you've got WooCommerce or easy digital downloads in there. And yep, that's easy to do. Steph says, is it possible to add short codes to site title, tagline in the themes customizer in the header? Title and tagline. Okay, not quite sure what you mean there, Steph. We can maybe take that one offline and deal with that one. I'm not quite sure how that relates to the pods. I think there's a little bit. Okay. You guys can see. Morris, Thank you. You're well. MSC 007 enable. Yes, Pods is completely free, and so there's no paid version. So you get all that stuff for nothing, which is great. Mike, is there any difference between Pods and advanced custom fields? Advanced custom fields, they're slightly different. So the advanced custom fields allow you to create field groups and then associate them with a post type. So for example, you can create a field group with fields and add them to a post or a page. But advanced custom fields doesn't allow you to create the post type in the first place. So you could use Pods just to create the custom post type and not add any fields, and then go into advanced custom fields and add those fields within ACF into your new pod, your new custom post type. So you don't need to use the field within Pods. You can certainly use the two plugins together, and ACF will give you more advanced fields than the Pods does. Fiona, can you then do a blog roll showcasing an extract of multiple on one page? I think what you might be talking about here is if you have multiple entries in your custom post type. So for example, mine, if I did lots of books, can you show them all like a blog post, each one after each other? Yes, you can. So within the Pods interface, there was an option to have an archive, and an archive is what you're talking about. So an archive is a list of all the post types that it displays, that WordPress displays. So so for your posts, your blog roll, and that's a list of all the posts of post type post. So yes, you can enable that within the Pods admin. Say it has an archive, and then you can create a template for that archive within your theme to show all those custom post types on the front end. So yeah, definitely possible. Paul, how do you feel about custom post types versus the custom fields plugin? Well, again, the custom fields just allows you to add fields to whatever post types you have in WordPress, whereas the Pods allows you to create those custom post types. And I like to create custom post types because it gives you that ability to create archives and to query them separately within the database and without having to muck around with the actual post or page values. So I think having a custom post type is more valuable than just having a whole bunch of fields on something. Michelle. She wants to create an area for a client to enter new WooCommerce products with specific fields so that it populates in a product template and create the new product page. Okay, well, that's certainly doable. And if you want to populate the product page, it really depends on what you mean by the back end or the front end. I'm guessing you mean the front end when the customer looks at it. Probably I would go down the road of doing a pod for that. I would probably use ACF for that, Michelle, and create a group. For example, I think you're talking about dresses. So maybe create a field group for dress, and then add that to the products post type within ACF. And then when you go into your WooCommerce products, you'll see a box down below that'll be your fields, and it'll add that directly to that product. I think that's probably the best option here, rather than to create a new custom post type. So ACF, advanced custom fields, I think, Michelle, is the way that you want to tackle that one. Steph, you mentioned you can plug custom post types into page builders. Yes, you can. So Pods itself actually comes with a Beaver Builder integration. So you can drag in your custom post types and your fields into that. So if you want to display, like we're talking about a blog roll, a list of those. If you want to have a list of your new custom post types, then with Beaver and Elementor, you can drag that stuff in there. So you don't have to be coding a PHP template for your theme to get that stuff out. Okay, so it is 1:30. I'm having a look to see if there's any other questions. I don't think we have. anymore. So that's great because we want to be this really, really quickly. That's me. Hit me up on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. And there's my handles down below. And we'll do another one next week. I think next week we are on child themes. Yes, child themes is next week. So if you understand what child themes are, and we'll probably look through the basic code to create one, and the files that we need to create one, and join me next week. One last question. Do you have any good tutorials to understand ACF? If you have a look at the WordPress Sydney meetup group, we've covered ACF before in quite a few meetups. So have a look through those, so through some previous events, and you'll see the slideshow within that particular meetup page. So have a look through the past events on the meetup page and see if you can find some of those slides. If not, I might cover ACF. I think someone actually has suggested that as a quickie. So I might do an ACF one if you guys would like to do that. Bright Blue Gum, you're welcome. Meryl, yep, you're welcome. Yeah, Michelle, yep, that's fine. That's good. This is what these WP quickies are for, just to do something quick, expose you to WordPress. Joey, you're more than welcome. Okay, that's it, guys. I'm going to do a wrap so you can get back to your lunch, and I'll see you here next week.